Well, hello everybody, Bill Shock here. Welcome to yet another edition of the 5 Minute Motivator. If you've been listening to these over the last few weeks, you know I've been celebrating a new course that I released on Udemy entitled Increasing Self-Confidence Through Public Speaking. Well, I'm just about partied out. So we're going to go back to the standard editions of the 5 Minute Motivator. Welcome, of course, to my home in beautiful Tamarindo, Costa Rica. I'll show you some of the grounds here. A lot of people are asking me about where I live, and I live in a condominium system called the Oaks, O-A-K-S. I'll have information about that for you in the next few episodes. My hope is that you actually come down here. We could have a couple beers, sit and talk about leadership and management and public speaking and all those other things. That would really be great. In the interim, please understand these 1 minute motivators these 5 minute motivators are one take wonders. There's no editing to these at all. So who knows what can happen in the background or in the foreground for that matter. So just keep that in mind. So here's what I would like to talk about today. I'd like to talk about, I'd like to ask you a question. Where do your riches lie? What makes you feel rich? Now, it's an interesting question because if you are still living in those rock and roll 80s, those Reagan years when things were always moving and shaking, you might still subscribe to the philosophy that he who dies with the most toys win. Kind of an older way of looking at things, probably not the most humane way of looking at things. But if that's the way you feel that you want to look at your life in terms of what you possess, that's up to you. Some people will be a little bit more contemplative, and they'll say something like, "Oh well, my riches lie in my health," or "My riches lie in my family." And those are fairly decent answers too, but they actually might be just a tad superficial. And here's what I mean by that. Anything that we possess that we don't actually enjoy is not a wealth. It's not a richness. So we have to enjoy the things that we actually have. And I'm gonna go out a little bit on a limb here and say this to you. You don't necessarily have to agree if you don't want to. Just be open-minded to it. Wealth comes from the head and the heart. The mind and the heart create wealth. This is something that Dr. Joe Dispenza called a level of coherence. When the mind and the heart are on the same wavelength, it's coherence. And I think when we possess things, whether it's health, whether it's actually overt wealth, or whether it's family or whatever it is, but it comes with a solid understanding of gratitude, then it's something that we would have, or we should at least consider to be wealth. Let me give it to you this way. I'll ask another question. Do you appreciate what you have? Do you appreciate what you have? Let me go a little deeper. Do you have gratitude for what is yours? And by gratitude, I don't just mean, "Oh, thanks." I mean a deep-seated, heartfelt gratitude. I mean, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I wake up every morning and I thank the universe that I am alive just by living here. But then again, I did that when I was in northeastern Pennsylvania too, and the weather here is it's a lot better. So real appreciation, real gratitude for what you have. Ultimately, I really think that wealth is not defined by what we have, but it's defined by what we enjoy in terms of what we have. And that's where the notion of gratitude comes in. So I'd like you to consider that point. Look around your house, look around mentally in terms of your relationships, and think about what you have, think about what you own, think about what is really yours, and then think about how grateful you are for those things. That's where your wealth lies. Here's the important thing. That notion of gratitude, it builds interest, because as you become grateful for the things that you have, you start to become grateful for the things that you want, and you begin to develop a gratitude toward the things that you're setting goals for. That's where a lot of the value of understanding what wealth is all about comes into fruition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are at about the 5-minute mark now. This is Bill Shaka, thanking you again for yet attending another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. See you on the other side. Bye-bye now.